Lillard goes down with an injury. He's grabbing his high ankle of the left leg.
Damian Lillard has suffered a left Achilles tendon tear. His season is over, obviously, just a devastating blow.
Well, part of this happened, but the return of Damian Lillard back to Portland is just a fraction of one of the craziest roller coasters we've ever seen. Because what included a messy divorce in Portland, a loveless marriage in Milwaukee, a tragic season-ending injury, and a shocking reunion leaves Dame just where he wants to be. And it was all because of this.
Just in, the Milwaukee Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard and stretching the remaining $113 million on his contract.
Here's the truth. This earns Dame more money and a better career situation. I'm Jerry, and this is a Clutch original on why Damian Lillard's Achilles injury is actually the luckiest in NBA history and why it might have saved his NBA career. For Dame, this full circle moment actually started years ago for him in Portland. After 11 seasons with the Trailblazers, these are the things that led to his departure. 8 straight playoff appearances, no title. And in his entire Blazers career, Dame had just one all-star teammate in LaMarcus Aldridge. His next best help was CJ McCollum, who has the same strengths and weaknesses as Dame. It was time to break up, and this one was uglier than you'd expect, because it became personal. Sources said during the trade process, Portland stopped all communication between Lillard and his agent, Aaron Goodwin. Now this is where today factors in, because Lillard only wanted to go to Miami. It was always the Heat or return to the Trailblazers. But Portland GM Joe Cronin told Dame there was no possibility of return after this trade request. Then Cronin worked in silence, pulling off a deal that was supposed to give Dame the best chance to win a title. On September 27, 2023, Dame moved on from the only team that he ever played for, leading to this haul. And he was strong going into his Bucks tenure. In his first 9 NBA seasons, Dame played over 80% of his games. This was supposed to be great for Lillard, because after the trade, Milwaukee became the favorites, and Milwaukee was thrilled. According to Colin Cowherd, clearly the Bucks front office listened to Giannis. Dame became the reason why Giannis signed a big 3-year, $175 million extension just 1 month later. But it was destined to fail. One season before trading for Dame, the Bucks were the #1 seed in the East, but lost in the first round to the Heat. And in his 2 seasons with Milwaukee, a 3rd and 5th place finish out East, 2 first-round exits, and 1 unfortunate Achilles injury. But it wasn't just Lillard. Usually when a contender trades for a superstar like Dame, they lose a lot of what makes them great, especially when that star is owed $44 million a year. That's exactly what happened. Milwaukee was playing multiple coaches and players in dead money after terminating them in the middle of their contracts. They had no money, no promising young talent, and their veterans were getting older and more expensive by the years. Milwaukee just ran out of moves, never really having a shot to build a competitive roster. Then the injuries started. In his first season with the Bucks, Dame suffered an ankle sprain. And in year 2, a blood clot in his right calf. These were all of his major injuries with the Bucks. And that left Achilles injury changed everything. At first for the worse, but then for the better. Let's be clear. If Dame doesn't rupture his Achilles, the Bucks probably don't waive him. That means this dream that was destined to fail from the start keeps on going. But for a team that's in win-now mode, the priority remains the same. Keep your 2-time MVP who's in his prime at all costs. And losing 1 season of Lillard also means losing 1 season of Giannis's prime. So the Bucks had to let Dame go, which works out perfectly for him. Because the situation led to a wild domino effect, the largest stretch and waive deal ever, and a major positive career shift for Lillard. Now what does that mean? The stretch provision is designed to give teams short-term salary cap relief. With $113 million still on Lillard's contract with Milwaukee, they extended it through 2030, as he'll now collect $22.5 million each year, even if he never plays again. And his 3-year, $42 million Portland deal will be added to the $22.5 million a year he's already making. So now what? Portland didn't have to pay Dame max money, just $14 million a season. And ironically, Dame's situation and title odds are pretty solid. For the Bucks, after waiving Dame and adding Miles Turner, their odds went from plus 10,000 to plus 4,000. And Dame, whose odds were plus 10,000 with Milwaukee, is now on a team that had the 2nd youngest roster of 2025 and ended up with all of this just 2 years after the 2023 Dame trade. He gets his money, and he doesn't break Portland's bank. But all of this upside depends on how Dame returns from this devastating injury. These are a list of guys to return from notable Achilles injuries. Kobe and Dominique were around the same age as Dame whenever their Achilles was ruptured. Kobe only played 2 more seasons, while Dominique went on to have an impressive second half of his career. So the possibility of a great return is there, modern medicine and all. Most wouldn't call an injury that can end your career lucky. He gets to return home and become a mentor for a super young NBA team. So we ask you one more time, is this the luckiest injury in NBA history?